In the dim corridors of history, entities of pure evil have lurked, waiting to be discovered. These malevolent beings, now brought to life on the silver screen, have terrified audiences with their chilling presence and sinister powers. What if the demons you fear are more real than you ever imagined? What if the evil lurking in the shadows of your favorite horror films is rooted in centuries-old lore and dark rituals? What if these demons are twisted versions of ancient gods, their stories distorted through time? From Valak in the Conjuring series, and Paimon in Hereditary, to azāzel in Supernatural, these demons have left an indelible mark on horror cinema and television. Their terrifying legacies are not just figments of imagination, but echoes of dark, ancient truths. Join us on a spine-chilling journey through time, where fact and fiction intertwine, and the legends of the past become the horrors of today. Dare to watch and discover the truth behind the terror. In the shadows of our history, there exists a dark and often misunderstood realm, demonology. This ancient study, rooted in the beliefs and fears of civilizations across the globe, seeks to understand and categorize the entities that many cultures have come to know as demons. These are not mere creatures of fiction, but entities that have been feared and revered for centuries. Demonology has played a significant role in shaping the myths and legends of countless societies. From the malevolent spirits of Mesopotamia to the infernal beings of medieval Europe, demons have been blamed for plagues, misfortunes, and even possession. The ancient Sumerians, Egyptians, and Greeks all had their own interpretations and classifications of these dark entities, each contributing to the evolving narrative of demonology. One of the earliest known sources of demonology comes from ancient Mesopotamia. The Babylonians, for example, had a complex pantheon of spirits and demons that were believed to influence the world in various ways. The ancient texts, such as the Enuma Elish, describe a chaotic universe teeming with supernatural entities. Among these were the Utuku, malevolent spirits of the dead, and the Alu, a demon that would cause fever and madness. Lamashtu, a fearsome female demon, was believed to harm pregnant women and infants. The Babylonians performed intricate rituals and incantations to protect themselves from these demonic forces, often invoking the help of benevolent gods to counteract their influence. Moving westward, the ancient Egyptians also had a rich tradition of demonology. They believed in a myriad of supernatural beings, both good and evil, that played roles in their elaborate cosmology. The demon Apep, a monstrous serpent, was considered the embodiment of chaos and an enemy of the sun god Ra. Egyptians believed that the nightly battle between Ra and Apep was essential for the continued existence of the world. Amulets, spells, and other protective measures were commonly used to ward off these malevolent forces. In ancient Greece, demons were seen as intermediaries between gods and humans. The term demon originally referred to a spirit that could be either good or bad. However, over time, certain demons took on more sinister characteristics. Hecate, the goddess of witchcraft and magic, was often associated with night and ghosts, embodying the darker aspects of the supernatural world. The Greeks performed various rites and sacrifices to appease these spirits and ensure their favor. As we move through history, we see a common thread: the need to understand, categorize, and control these supernatural entities. Demonology evolved as a means to explain the unexplainable, to offer a framework for the chaotic and often terrifying aspects of the human experience. The rituals, incantations, and protective charms developed across different cultures are testaments to humanity's enduring struggle against the forces of darkness. In medieval Europe, this struggle took on new dimensions. The Christian Church, seeking to consolidate its power, began to reinterpret pagan gods and spirits as demons. This period saw the rise of grimoires, manuals of magic that provided detailed descriptions of demons and the means to summon or repel them. These texts, such as the Malleus Maleficarum and the Demonology by King James I, further solidified the fear of demons in the cultural consciousness. The history of demonology shows how deeply embedded these entities are in our collective psyche. From the ancient Babylonians to medieval Europe, the study and fear of demons have shaped our understanding of the world and the unseen forces that influence it. The line between myth and reality becomes ever more blurred, leading us into the heart of darkness where the true nature of these entities awaits. Central to the study of demonology is a notorious grimoire known as the Lesser Key of Solomon, a text shrouded in mystery and steeped in dark lore. Compiled in the 17th century, this grimoire is an amalgamation of older magical texts and medieval traditions attributed to the wise King Solomon, who was said to possess the ability to control spirits and demons. Among its 5 distinct books, the most infamous is the Ars Goetia, a detailed catalogue of 72 demons that Solomon allegedly bound and compelled to serve him. The myth of King Solomon is pivotal to understanding the origins of the Goetia. Solomon, the son of King David, was known for his wisdom, wealth, and his extensive building projects, including the first temple in Jerusalem. According to legend, Solomon was granted a magical ring by the archangel Michael. This ring, inscribed with the seal of Solomon, gave him dominion over demons and the ability to command them. Using this power, Solomon is said to have bound 72 demons in a bronze vessel, forcing them to assist in the construction of the temple and revealing their secrets. The Goetia provides meticulous descriptions of these demons, including their ranks, powers, and the rituals required to summon them. Each demon is unique, wielding specific abilities and commanding legions of lesser spirits. This text has long been a cornerstone for those who seek to understand or harness the power of these malevolent beings. The structure of the Lesser Key of Solomon reflects the medieval fascination with order and hierarchy. Divided into 5 books, Ars Goetia, Ars Theurgia Goetia, Ars Paulina, Ars Almadel and Ars Notoria, the grimoire offers a comprehensive guide to summoning and controlling a variety of spirits. The Ars Goetia, the first and most famous section, focuses on the 72 demons allegedly bound by Solomon. It provides detailed instructions on how to invoke these entities, including the necessary incantations, symbols, and offerings. The origins of the Goetia are rooted in a blend of Judaic, Christian, and earlier pagan traditions. The text itself is a product of its time, reflecting the medieval obsession with magic and the occult. It draws heavily on earlier works, such as the Testament of Solomon, an apocryphal text that dates back to the early centuries of the Common Era. In the Testament, Solomon describes his encounters with various demons, detailing their appearances and the ways to thwart them. This text laid the groundwork for the more elaborate and systematized Goetia. The influence of the Goetia extends far beyond the medieval period. It has left an indelible mark on Western occultism, inspiring countless other grimoires and magical traditions. Its detailed descriptions and structured approach to demonology have made it a key text for those seeking to explore the darker aspects of the supernatural. The Goetia's impact is evident in literature, art, and modern media, where its demonic hierarchy continues to captivate and terrify. Many of the demons that haunt our screens today, such as Valak and Paimon, are pulled directly from the pages of the Goetia. These demons of fiction have their roots in a very real history and tradition, one that occult practitioners still study and utilize to this day. The lines between legend and reality blur as these ancient entities step from the shadows of the past into the limelight of modern horror, reminding us of the enduring power of these dark forces. One of the most chilling figures in demonic lore is known by a name that strikes fear into cinemagoers worldwide: Valak. Known to many as the demonic nun from the Conjuring universe, Valak's depiction in film has left an indelible mark on the horror genre, first appearing in The Conjuring 2 and later becoming the central figure in The Nun. Valak is portrayed as a terrifying entity, cloaked as a nun, using this disguise to deceive and terrorize. However, the cinematic portrayal of Valak diverges significantly from historical texts. In the Goetia, Valak is described quite differently. This demon is listed as a mighty president of hell, commanding 30 legions of demons. Far from a sinister nun, Valak is depicted as a cherubic figure, a small boy with angelic wings riding a two-headed dragon. Despite this seemingly innocent appearance, the real Valak is no less terrifying. His power lies in his ability to find hidden treasures and reveal serpents, symbols of danger and the unknown. Valak's roots may stretch even deeper into ancient lore. Some scholars believe that Valak's name and attributes could be derived from older pagan deities, transformed over centuries into the demonic figure known today. For instance, there are echoes of Volos, the Slavic god of the underworld and wealth, who was often associated with serpents and dragons. As Christianity spread, many such deities were recast as demons, their once venerated names becoming synonymous with evil. The Catholic Church played a significant role in this transformation. During the medieval period, the Church sought to consolidate its influence by demonizing the gods of competing religions. Figures like Valak, who may have once been regarded as protective or benign, were reinterpreted as sinister agents of the devil. This process of demonization served to reinforce the Church's teachings and consolidate its spiritual authority. In the films, Valak is portrayed as an ancient, powerful demon with a penchant for manipulating fear and sowing chaos. This portrayal, while not true to the Goetia's description, taps into the broader fear of the unknown and the power of malevolent forces. The transformation of Valak from a cherubic figure to a menacing nun illustrates the adaptability of these myths, evolving to suit the fears and imaginations of contemporary audiences. The Conjuring films blend historical elements with creative storytelling, creating a figure that is both familiar and terrifying. The contrast between Valak's traditional descriptions and modern portrayals underscores the fluid nature of myth and the ways in which our deepest fears are continually reshaped by culture and context. In the world of modern horror, few names have gained as much notoriety as Paimon, a sinister presence brought to life in the film Hereditary. Paimon's depiction in this movie is both chilling and compelling, as the demon orchestrates the harrowing downfall of a family, manipulating them to fulfill his dark desires. In the Goetia, Paimon is described as one of the most powerful kings of hell, commanding 200 legions of demons. He is depicted as a man with an effeminate face, riding a dromedary, a type of camel, and is often preceded by a host of spirits playing loud music. This procession, filled with the sounds of trumpets, cymbals, and other instruments, signals Paimon's arrival. His voice is said to be harsh and commanding, demanding respect and obedience from those who summon him. Paimon's powers are vast and formidable. He is known for his profound knowledge of all arts and sciences, his ability to reveal hidden secrets, and his capacity to grant wisdom and insight into the workings of the world. Those who seek his favor must perform complex rituals and offer sacrifices, as Paimon requires total devotion and submission from his followers. His allegiance to Lucifer places him high in the infernal hierarchy, making him a figure of immense authority and influence. The origins of Paimon are steeped in ancient tradition, and like many other demons, he may have begun as a pagan deity. Over time, as the Catholic Church sought to consolidate its power, these ancient gods were transformed into demons. Paimon is another example of this practice, his once divine attributes twisted into symbols of malevolence and darkness. In Hereditary, Paimon's portrayal stays true to his Goetic roots, while adding layers of psychological horror. The film meticulously builds Paimon's influence, from the eerie symbols to the chilling rituals performed by his cult. This adaptation captures the essence of Paimon's character, a manipulative and powerful entity whose reach extends far beyond the mortal realm. The demon's methodical approach to achieving his goals, coupled with his ability to instill fear and chaos, mirrors the attributes detailed in the Goetia. Paimon's cultural impact has been significant, turning an obscure figure from ancient demonology into a modern icon of horror. His presence in Hereditary has left a lasting impression, creating a figure that continues to haunt audiences long after the credits roll. Another demon that has crossed from ancient texts into modern cinema is Azazel, whose malevolent influence is central to the 1998 film Fallen. Starring Denzel Washington, Fallen follows a detective who encounters a demon capable of transferring from one person to another with a mere touch, leaving a trail of chaos and death in its wake. Azazel's origins are ancient, with roots in various mythologies. In Jewish tradition, Azazel is associated with the ritual of the scapegoat, where a goat bearing the sins of the people was sent into the wilderness, symbolically carrying away their transgressions. This ritual is described in the book of Leviticus, where Azazel is depicted as a desolate and forsaken place, but later interpretations began to view Azazel as a demonic being dwelling in the wilderness. He is often depicted as a fallen angel, a leader among the Watchers, angels who descended to earth and corrupted humanity. According to the Book of Enoch, Azazel was one of the chief Watchers who led other angels in defying God by descending to earth to mate with human women. This union produced the Nephilim, a race of giants who caused chaos and destruction. Azazel's role in this rebellion included teaching humans forbidden knowledge, such as the art of warfare, cosmetics, and other forms of technology that were considered corruptive influences. As a result, Azazel was cast out of heaven and bound in a remote desert, symbolizing his fall from grace and eternal punishment. In Fallen, Azazel's portrayal as a bodiless spirit that can possess any human being with a touch is both terrifying and unique. This depiction diverges from traditional descriptions, but captures the essence of Azazel's corrupting influence and his role as a bringer of chaos. The film's narrative taps into the fear of an unseen, unstoppable force that can turn anyone into a vessel of evil, aligning with the ancient depiction of Azazel as a corrupter of humanity. Azazel's sinister presence is not confined to Fallen. This demon's terrifying influence extends across multiple mediums, captivating audiences in various forms. One of the most notable portrayals is in the long-running TV series Supernatural. In Supernatural, Azazel, also known as the Yellow-Eyed Demon, serves as one of the primary antagonists in the early seasons. Introduced as a powerful and malevolent figure, Azazel is responsible for the death of the protagonist's mother and the subsequent trauma that drives the show's narrative. His yellow eyes and charismatic, manipulative nature make him a memorable and feared villain. Azazel's goal in the series is to bring about the apocalypse by releasing Lucifer from his prison, using his demonic children and a series of complex machinations to achieve this end. In Supernatural, Azazel's relationship with Lucifer is particularly significant. He is depicted as a devout follower, tasked with preparing for Lucifer's return by finding and grooming special children with psychic abilities. These children, including the protagonist Sam Winchester, are key to breaking the seals that imprison Lucifer. Azazel's dedication to Lucifer highlights his role as a catalyst for chaos and destruction, mirroring the corruptive influence he wielded in ancient texts. While the Book of Enoch portrays the Watchers as grave sinners who corrupted humanity with the gift of forbidden knowledge, Gnostic Christianity sometimes views the Watchers differently. In Gnostic texts, the Watchers, including Azazel, are seen not just as corrupters but also as bringers of divine knowledge, challenging the oppressive rule of a false god, often equated with the demiurge. This interpretation paints Azazel and the Watchers in a more ambiguous light, as entities who brought enlightenment but were punished for their rebellion. Whether evildoers or bringers of the light of Gnosis, the Watchers are currently depicted as imprisoned in the depths of the earth, awaiting a final judgment. This state of punishment reflects their fall from grace and the severe consequences of their actions. The idea of fallen angels bound and waiting for judgment has permeated various religious and mythological traditions, symbolizing the eternal struggle between order and chaos. Comparing Azazel's portrayal in Supernatural to his depiction in Fallen reveals both similarities and differences. In both mediums, Azazel is depicted as a powerful, ancient demon with a penchant for possession and manipulation. However, Supernatural presents him with a more elaborate backstory and deeper involvement in the overarching plot. While Fallen portrays Azazel as a bodiless spirit, Supernatural gives him a corporeal form and a more detailed hierarchy within Hell. This added complexity enriches his character, making his actions and motivations more intricate and deeply woven into the show's lore. Azazel's presence in Supernatural draws heavily from his historical and theological roots. His character embodies the essence of a fallen angel and corrupter of humanity, reflecting the ancient narratives that have shaped his myth. By blending these historical elements with contemporary storytelling, Supernatural creates a multidimensional antagonist whose influence and malevolence are both timeless and terrifying. Moving from ancient texts to modern mythology, we encounter a demon that has gained notoriety in recent years, Zozo. Often associated with Ouija boards, Zozo is a name that has struck fear into the hearts of those who seek to communicate with the spirit world. Unlike demons with ancient origins, Zozo is a more contemporary entity, a chilling example of how demonology is a constantly evolving discipline. Zozo's presence in horror films and media is both pervasive and unsettling. In various depictions, Zozo is portrayed as a malevolent spirit that uses the Ouija board as a gateway to torment and possess its victims. Films such as I Am Zozo, 2012, and various television specials have explored the terrifying encounters people claim to have had with this demon. The stories are eerily similar. A Ouija session begins innocently enough, but soon the planchette starts moving erratically, spelling out the name Zozo. What follows is a descent into fear, as the demon exerts its influence over those who dare to summon it. The origins of Zozo are murky, and not as well documented as those of ancient demons. The first significant mention of Zozo can be traced back to a 2009 post on an online forum where a user recounted their harrowing experiences with the demon. This account sparked widespread interest and fear, leading to more stories and supposed encounters being shared online. Some researchers suggest that Zozo's name may have pre-Christian origins, potentially linked to ancient spirits or deities that have been forgotten or repurposed in modern times. The legend of Zozo has evolved significantly over the past decade. Initially dismissed by many as an internet myth, Zozo's story has taken on a life of its own. The collective fear and fascination have solidified Zozo's place in contemporary demonology. Unlike traditional demons catalogued in texts like the Gaetia or biblical scriptures, Zozo represents a modern creation, born out of the intersection of folklore, urban legends, and the internet age. Zozo's rise to infamy highlights the dynamic nature of demonology. While some demons have origins that can be traced back to ancient religious texts and mythologies, others like Zozo are the products of modern imagination, influenced by cultural shifts and technological advancements. This distinction underscores how our understanding of the supernatural continues to grow and change, reflecting our deepest fears and curiosities. Baal is another figure whose dark legacy spans from ancient worship to modern horror films. Appearing in movies such as The Rite and Constantine, Baal is portrayed as a powerful and malevolent force. However, his cinematic depictions only scratch the surface of this demon's intricate history and significance. In the Gaetia, Baal is described as a Duke of Hell, commanding 66 legions of demons. He is depicted with 3 heads, one of a man, one of a toad, and one of a cat. Baal's attributes include the power to make those who summon him invisible and grant them wisdom. This duality of wisdom and invisibility reflects Baal's complex nature, combining traits of both a protector and a deceiver. Baal's origins can be traced back to ancient Canaanite religion, where he was worshipped as a god of fertility, storms, and agriculture. Known as Baal, he was a principal deity, often depicted as a powerful warrior who could control the weather and bring prosperity to his followers. The Canaanites revered Baal as a life-giving force, essential to their agricultural society. However, with the rise of monotheistic religions, Baal's status underwent a dramatic transformation. The Catholic Church, in its efforts to consolidate spiritual authority, demonized many pagan gods, including Baal. In biblical texts, Baal is often portrayed as a false god, leading the Israelites astray and incurring the wrath of the Hebrew prophets. This demonization turned a once revered deity into an embodiment of evil, aligning Baal with the forces of hell. Baal's significance in popular culture reflects his long and varied history. In The Rite, Baal is depicted as a powerful demon encountered by a priest undergoing an exorcism training. The film draws on Baal's reputation as a formidable adversary, capable of immense evil. Baal's presence can be found in various other media, including literature, video games, and television series. Each portrayal adds layers to his myth, reinforcing his image as a powerful and malevolent entity. However, these modern depictions often lack the depth and historical context of Baal's origins, focusing instead on his role as a fearsome demon. Baal's journey from a revered Canaanite god to a demon of hell illustrates the complex evolution of demonology. This transformation underscores how religious and cultural shifts have reshaped our understanding of these entities. While ancient texts like the Goetia provide detailed descriptions of demons, modern interpretations continue to evolve, influenced by contemporary fears and storytelling. Demonology, as a developing discipline, reflects our ongoing fascination with the unknown and the supernatural. Baal's enduring presence in popular culture highlights the intersection of history, religion, and imagination, demonstrating how ancient myths continue to influence and terrify us today. Belial is another demon whose myth has seeped into modern media, notably in films like The Sentinel and Basket Case. In these movies, Belial is portrayed as a malevolent and powerful force, though the depictions often take creative liberties with his traditional characteristics. In the Goetia, Belial is described as a mighty and deceitful king of hell. He is said to appear as a beautiful angel seated in a chariot of fire, commanding 50 legions of demons. Belial's primary attributes include causing strife, spreading lies, and encouraging wickedness. He is often invoked to gain favors or achieve positions of power, making him a figure associated with corruption and manipulation. Belial's origins may trace back to ancient pagan beliefs. Some scholars suggest that Belial was originally a deity of chaos and disorder in pre-Christian religions. The name Belial itself comes from Hebrew meaning worthlessness or wickedness, reflecting his role as a symbol of moral corruption. Christian texts, particularly the Bible, further solidified Belial's demonic status. In the Old Testament, Belial is referenced as a personification of evil and lawlessness. By the time of the New Testament, Belial had become synonymous with Satan or the devil, embodying ultimate wickedness and opposition to God. In the 1977 film The Sentinel, Belial is depicted as an influential demonic presence within a cursed apartment building. The film portrays him as a sinister force orchestrating the suffering of the residents, aligning with his traditional role as a spreader of strife and deception. The 1982 film Basket Case, on the other hand, takes a more creative approach, featuring a character named Belial who is a monstrous, deformed twin seeking vengeance. While not a direct representation of the demon Belial, this usage of the name evokes the malevolence and fear associated with the demon. Belial's influence extends beyond these films into various other media, including literature, video games, and television series. Each portrayal adapts aspects of his myth, sometimes emphasizing his role as a deceiver and corrupter, other times focusing on his association with chaos and destruction. These interpretations, while varied, all draw from the rich tapestry of Belial's historical and theological roots. The depiction of Belial in modern media highlights the dynamic nature of demonology. While ancient texts like the Goetia provide a foundation, contemporary portrayals often reinterpret these figures to fit current fears and narratives. Belial's journey from a pagan deity to a demonic figure, and then to a character in modern horror, underscores how our understanding of demons continues to evolve. The stories of demons have always captivated human imagination, reflecting our deepest fears and societal anxieties. From the menacing presence of Valak in the Conjuring series to the insidious influence of Paimon in Hereditary, these tales delve into the unknown and the forbidden, embodying the terror of the unseen and the uncontrollable. The depiction of Azazel in Supernatural as a manipulative and powerful entity, and the chilling accounts of Zozo in connection with Ouija boards, showcase the enduring appeal of these dark figures across different mediums. These cinematic portrayals resonate because they tap into primal fears. The fear of possession, the dread of the unknown, and the anxiety over losing control are themes that have persisted through the ages. Demons serve as potent symbols of these fears, providing a narrative framework through which we can explore and confront our deepest anxieties. The evolution of these stories from ancient myth to modern horror underscores the adaptability of demonic lore, reflecting societal changes and the continuous fascination with the dark aspects of existence. Each demon story, whether drawn from ancient texts like the Getya or born from modern imagination, contributes to a rich tapestry of myth and reality. These narratives do more than entertain. They provoke thought, challenge beliefs, and stir the subconscious. The tales of Valak, Paimon, Azazel, and Belial offer a glimpse into the complexities of human nature and the enduring struggle between light and darkness. Beyond pure fiction, society's continued fascination with the occult and the supernatural speaks to a fundamental aspect of the human experience. Even today, occult practitioners invoke these demons, believing in their power and seeking their favor or knowledge. These stories, while fiction, evoke the names and powers of entities that many consider very real, adding to the fear and anxiety these entities stir in our collective unconscious. The power of these stories lies not just in their ability to terrify, but in their capacity to reflect deeper truths about ourselves. The demons of popular cinema are more than mere fictional creations. They are the embodiment of ancient fears and contemporary anxieties, a bridge between the past and the present. In the end, the stories of demons are a mirror, reflecting our darkest fears and our most profound questions. They invite us to look beyond the surface and explore the hidden depths of our own nature. The allure of the occult, the fascination with the forbidden, and the timeless appeal of these dark tales ensure that the legacy of demonic lore will continue to captivate and haunt us long after the final credits roll.